Stop scrolling, because this Lindsay Clancy trial is about to enter its final stage, and the biggest question isn't just what happened, it's what was happening inside her mind. Let me catch you up, because last week was a big one. The defense finally rested its case Friday after presenting days of testimony focused on Lindsay's mental health. Prosecutors then started their rebuttal. The defense has argued that Lindsay was experiencing severe postpartum psychosis. Their psychiatric expert, Dr. Philip Resnick, testified that he believed she was psychotic when the children died and that her actions were influenced by delusions and what he described as a command hallucination. But the prosecution's expert gave the jury a very different interpretation. Dr. Avram Mack testified that he believed Lindsay had major depressive disorder, but he did not find evidence of psychosis or mania, and said she retained the ability to control her behavior. And that's what makes this case so complicated. The question isn't simply, was she mentally ill? The jury has to consider what her mental state was at the time and whether that affected her ability to understand and control her actions. But here's where I want to take this conversation beyond the courtroom. Because regardless of what the jury ultimately decides, this case is forcing people to talk about something we don't talk about enough. How serious mental health crises can become before the people around us realize what's happening. Sometimes people don't say, "I'm in crisis." Sometimes it looks like not sleeping or withdrawing. Sometimes the person struggling may not even understand how serious it has become. And that's something I want everyone watching this to remember. Asking for help isn't weakness. Telling someone, "I'm not okay," isn't attention seeking. We can talk about mental illness with compassion while still talking about accountability. Understanding does not mean ignoring harm. So now the defense has rested, the prosecution has begun its rebuttal, and the trial is moving toward closing arguments. The jury will ultimately have to decide how it interprets those very different expert opinions. But for me, the bigger takeaway is whether we're creating a world where people feel safe enough to say, something is wrong. We should be talking about it before the crisis, before the breaking point. So I'm asking you, what do you think this trial has taught us? Tell me respectfully in the comments. Like, share, and save this conversation, and follow that _ Leidy for life, ADHD, healing, and everything in between.